Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you live from beautiful Budapest, the capital city of Hungary, here in Central Europe. Hi Ravneet, hi Kamlesh, Chantal, good to see you in this class. Nimatula, good to see you as well. Yanki Kim. Right on. Here we go with IELTS listening for Band 9, focusing on Section 1 and 2 today. This material is coming from our websites, which we will use in just a moment, aehelp.com for the academic version of the exam, and gieltshelp.com for the general version of the test. Both of those sites, we have lots of materials, over 100 hours of HD video lessons, fully interactive course, as well as 6 original practice exams. You can access our website through our mobile app for the academic. Look for the app Academic IELTS Help in your app store and look for our shield. All right. So here we go with listening. If you have questions, comments, concerns, send me an email to Adrian, Adrian, at aehelp.com. And we'll get our listening going here with Section 1. We'll get right into it just to warm up your English listening skills. Now, I'm going to play the audio in just a minute. Write down your answers in a separate document or on a piece of paper. Please, students, do not write your answers into the chat. Be fair with your fellow students. Let everybody have a chance to answer on their own. We will go over the answers together, okay? I'm playing this listening audio through my headset microphone with a Bose speaker on max volume. So if it's quiet for you, just turn up your volume or try to use a headset if you have one available, okay? So, and I see some students have questions. Again, students with questions, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and I'll answer those questions for you through email. All right, students. So first I'm going to hop over to our website here. And this is our academic IELTS website. You can click that big red button to join and get the premium account and the app. And now we're going to hop into our My Student account by clicking on that link there. Once we're in here, we have all of these goodies available to us, lots and lots of materials. And we're hopping here to the IELTS audio CDs. These are original exams that we have published, so you won't find these elsewhere. Now we're looking at Book 2, Exam number 5, Listening Section 1. So let's get going. Again, students, write your answers on a separate sheet. We'll go through them together after. So here we go. Max volume. And ready, set, go.
This recording is copyrighted by 2Think1 Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings, and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Listening Section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 people as one tries to return a defective product. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You'll see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great.
The man says he purchased the item on July 6th, so this answer has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great. I also need the name of the product as indicated on the receipt.
Certainly. The receipt shows it as SOJO 232XD.
SOJO 232XD?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, yes. I see the product in my records now. It is a 23-inch computer monitor?
Yes, that's correct.
Now tell me, did you buy the extended warranty on the monitor?
No, I did not. I always feel like those warranties are a bit of a scam.
Perhaps, until you need the warranty?
Perhaps. But there must be some sort of manufacturer's warranty, right?
There may be. Let me check for you. Okay. Yes, it seems there is a manufacturer's warranty. The warranty is for 60 days. 2 months.
Great. Then I shouldn't encounter any problems in returning it.
Well, actually, we only accept returns for a week after purchase. Since you purchased the computer monitor 8 days ago, you'll have to deal directly with the manufacturer.
How annoying. What steps must I take then?
Well, the company that makes the monitor has a depot in Birmingham. You must post it to them.
Okay. Do you have their address?
Yes, it's on Edgbaston Park Road and...
Hold on. You'll have to spell Edgbaston for me. I've never heard of it.
Of course. It is spelled EDGBASTON.
And then the rest of the address?
The address number is 89 and the unit number is 5.
Okay. So 89 Edgbaston Park Road, Unit 5.
That's right. And the postcode is B152RU.
B152RU?
That's right.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Great. But one concern I have is the cost of posting something as large as a computer monitor.
Indeed. Such a product must weigh a few kilos and will certainly set you back some money to post. Let me see if the company takes such a problem into consideration.
Well, that would certainly be nice if they did.
Yes, it seems they do. They have a program in place where they pay postage for the exchange of goods under manufacturer warranty or product recall.
That's great news. What do I have to do to use this service?
It's fairly simple. You just call their Birmingham depot and request a prepaid postage voucher. Then you take the item to the post office along with the voucher, and the post office will take care of the rest.
Sounds simple enough. Do you have a phone number for the depot in Birmingham?
Yes, you can reach them on 0121 496 0633. Oh, and be sure to call during business hours. They're open from 10 in the morning until 6 in the evening.
10 until 6, understood. One final question. What would I have had to do to return the monitor if I had purchased the extended warranty from your store?
Well, the process would have been much simpler, sir. You could have simply brought it into the return desk at your local store. We would have given you your choice of a new monitor, your cash back, or store credit in the amount of 110% of the original cost of the item.
110% store credit? Wow, that seems too good to be true.
Well, company policy is that we want satisfied customers, and when they are not satisfied, we feel the need to compensate them for this in some small measure.
Perhaps next time I'll buy the extended warranty. How much would it have cost on the monitor I bought?
Only £20.
£20 would have been well worth it to save me the trouble of dealing directly with the manufacturer.
Well, now you know, sir.
Indeed I do. Thanks again.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And students, in that half minute, make sure to check your answers. It's very, very important that you do that. And look for silly little mistakes reading the instructions or with spelling. So it's very, very important that you pay attention to that. All right. So, students, let's go over these answers in just a moment here. Now, quick question. At the beginning here, you saw me do something interesting. What did I do during the instruction time? During the 90 seconds, roughly, before the example. I did something kind of important there. It's a little bit of a trick or a little bit of a tip that you can use in the paper-based exam. It won't let you do this in the computer-based exam. Yeah, that's right, Charlie. That's right, Lean. I looked at not all the questions, I looked at all of the sections, right? So not quite all of the questions, but I looked at all of the sections. I looked at sections 2, 3, and 4. What do you think I was looking for? So I can't read all of the questions. That's impossible, or close to impossible. But I was looking for something in particular. So what do you think I was looking for in sections 2, 3, and 4? Chunni Vij says, maybe the types of questions. Amal says, is it allowed to look at the other sections in the exam? Technically, there's no rule that says you can't. Supposedly you can't, but technically there's no rule. So it's kind of a loophole. If the examiners don't tell you, hey, turn to section 1, then it's okay to look at the topics because you're sacrificing your section 1 time anyway. Okay? So technically or theoretically, you shouldn't be looking at the other sections, but technically the instructions don't clearly say don't look at the other sections. Okay? It just says follow the instructions. So I know that a lot of students, about 50% of students who hear this strategy are able to do it. Worst case scenario, the examiner or the proctor will say, please turn back to section 1, and that's okay. Yes, Chantal, I was looking at the title. You're right, Amarwadi. So I looked at sections 2 and 3, quickly checked the topics, okay, just to get an idea. And get my head moving in the right direction. What were they? Does anybody remember what section 2, 3, and 4 topics were about? Anybody catch those titles? The reason why, when you prepare your brain a little bit in advance, your brain can do a lot of work in the background, searching for information about those ideas. So this can be a very valuable kind of trick to save a couple band scores. Of course, if the examiner doesn't say, don't do that. Please turn to section 1. So Monica says 1, I think, was about education or technology. So 1 was something in school, yeah. 1 was a discussion, Shani, yeah, absolutely. Okay. So section 2 was about trade between nations. Or something about trading and taxes. Okay. Section 3, anybody catch that one? Section 4 was about a famous figure. One name, Michelangelo. Yeah, it was about the famous painter Michelangelo. I remember that. Section 3 was something about taxes. I think that was section 2. Okay. Kamal Lidin says section 3 was something about a company. So those ideas are now in my mind, and that may help me do a little bit better listening and paying attention in those sections. Okay, and then I went back to the part 1 questions during the example. And let's answer those now, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about section 1 as well. So you get this one example one time in the listening section. You do not get this in any of the other sections, okay? So you get a little bit of extra time there. And then it goes right into it. So this was a man returning a product. What product did the man purchase? So what was the answer for number 1? Was it A, a computer, B, a computer monitor, or C, a television? Educational Guruji and Monica and Charlie and Joanne all agree that that was a computer monitor, and you're right. The correct answer was B, computer monitor, and you should use capital letters in your answer sheet. So use the big letter B, not the small letter b. It's better to use the big letter B. Just make sure that it's very clear and doesn't kind of look like a funny D, okay? Because then you will get it wrong, all right? So make sure your B's look like B's. All right. Question 2 and 3. Here, question 2 and 3 in your answer booklet would look like this. Okay, 2, 3. It's, of course, for the paper-based exam. What 2 pieces of information are required to access the record for purchase? Now, here, the order doesn't matter as long as you get them both correct. If you just get one correct, then you only get 1 point. So what 2 pieces of information are required? SOJO 232XD is too specific. Okay, so A is not correct. Okay, warranty information is not given. The correct answers were the purchase date, okay, E, and the name of the product, F. So the correct answers are E and F. You could write it like that, or you could put F and E, but these were the 2 correct answers. Use questions to help you get the right answer, okay? Hermes, that was a good job, all right? SOJO is just the name of this product, but to access the records, they need the name of the product and the purchase date. If you think about it, that makes sense because the example, okay, it says what day did the man buy the product, and he bought it on July 6th. That's the first question asked by the customer service representative. So the customer service representative asks for the date of purchase so that she can look up the receipt. All right? So remember this for the future, students, that you can really, especially if you're not sure, okay? This is another important tip or trick that you can use, okay? So use information from other questions to help you get correct answers, especially if you are unsure or you missed a question. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, that would have helped you figure out name of the purchase date. All right. Thobatu says, hey, I used this technique in my exam. Thobatu, did it work? Did it help you? Let us know. Okay. And I'm glad that you used it. Okay, it's smart. Smart to use all of the information that's available to you. And if you can't do it during the listening because you're afraid to miss answers, then do it during the 10 minutes when you can transfer answers to the answer sheet. Here we go with questions 4 to 5. Always pay very careful attention to the instructions, no more than 2 words and or a number. The delivery depot is located in Birmingham, and the address is something Park Road, Unit 5. Let's see. Chunni says it's 89 Edge Bastion with a small e. Chunni, you'd get it wrong because your e is a small e. Okay? Kyber says it's 89 Edge Bastion spelt correctly, and you'd get it right. Ferdov says 85. Unfortunately, because of that number, you'd get it wrong, Ferdov. It has to be 89. And it has to be spelled correct, especially when they spell it for you. Okay? So 89 Edge Bastion Park Road, Unit 5. This E has to be big. And I think it was Monica that asked this question at the beginning of class. Can I write all uppercase or big letters? Yes, you can. So you can write this as Edge Bastion. Okay. You can do that, and it will be correct. You can give answers in capital letters for the for the listening and for the reading, but don't do that in the writing. So don't write all uppercase in the writing. There are 2 disadvantages to all capital letters, okay? The one advantage is that you will not make a mistake if the first letter has to be a capital, so that's the advantage. But there are 2 disadvantages, and I'll give you that right now, okay? So this is a note for you, okay? Using all uppercase letters in listening and reading sections is okay. However, remember that writing in capital letters takes more time, and it's easier to make spelling mistakes. Okay, so be careful with that. All right, those are the 2 negatives. So the advantage is that you won't make a mistake with proper nouns, okay, like names of streets or names of people. But the disadvantage is that you might make a spelling mistake that you wouldn't otherwise, okay? Kamolidin, the first letter of a name should always be a capital or a unique specific place, the name of a place, okay? All right, let's get back to our answers. What was the postcode So the man asks for the postcode of where he needs to send this computer monitor. And Paras, Monica, Kyber, Charlie all agree that it is B152RU. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Okay. All right. So B152RU. All right. Thobathu, if you wrote your task 1, task 2 essay all in capitals, it's okay, but again, because in the essays, you need to use your time well, your 20, 40 minutes. It's not a good idea to write all capitals because it's generally slower, okay? You're probably going to lose about 15% of your time because you're writing all capitals, all right? And the essay does not look as good. It's not as legible. It's not as readable if you're writing all capitals. So that's why it's not a good idea. In university, by the way, students, just a side note, when you go abroad to the UK or Canada, US, Australia, the professors do not like to see all capital letters in your writing, okay? So B152RU, all right? Let's look at questions 6 to 7. Here we go. Now you had a little bit of a break here to review these questions. And notice that number 6, it's no more than 3 words. So again, pay attention to the instructions. There's a good chance that there might be a 3-word answer when you see that. Here, the question is, in order to get free delivery on product returns, the customer must telephone the depot and request a what? It's 2 words here. And for Dobbs, you're very close, but the spelling is off. Nima Tula, you're missing the end of the first word. Monica, that is the correct answer. Okay, so everybody who is answering postage voucher, that's the correct answer. Okay, postage has to have the AGE because this is the adjective form of the word post. Okay, so postage voucher, right? If you say post voucher, unfortunately, it will be marked wrong. Okay, so it has to be postage voucher. All right, now, number 7. What is the phone number of the depot? You'll notice that in listening section 1, there's a lot of dictation, so spelling of words, postcodes, phone numbers, okay? And of course, the Google bot is hiding your answers because it does not want you to share phone numbers through the chat. So you have a lot of hidden answers in the chat, which is okay. And I'm trying to click on the show so that we can show these. All right, there we go. Now you'll see some coming up. All right, so you see some phone numbers there. The correct number was 0121 496 0633. If you got this, you got it correct. In the exam, you do not have to worry about these spaces, so you can write it all as one string of numbers, okay? You do not need to worry about the spaces. So as long as you got all of those numbers down on the paper, you are golden. You'll pick up 1 more mark on your listening section. So again, if it says no more than 3 words, students, then it's very unlikely that it would just be 1-word voucher, as I saw some of you write. Okay? All right. If you didn't see your answer here come up in the chat, it's because the chat bot is blocking phone numbers. Okay? It's not my fault, I promise. All right. So let's go to question 8. And my apologies, I came a little late to this question, but hopefully some of you were able to catch it. For how many hours is the depot open each day? So here you had to do a little bit of math. Was it 6, 8, or 10? The correct answer is 8. So make sure to write B. If you write 8 into the answer sheet, you'll get it wrong. The correct answer is B. Okay? Choose the correct letter, not fill in the blank. Be very careful with that. I sometimes see students losing marks because of it. All right? So, yeah, they say 10 until 6 in the evening. Okay, so 10 until 6 p.m. You have to do a little bit of math. Equals 8 hours. Now, of course, a post office, or the depot in this case, it's a government office, so you can also use logic. In many countries around the world, government offices are open for 8, maximum 10 hours. They're definitely open more than 6 in most cases. So again, you can think about logic. Okay? Yeah, Kyber says, hey, people usually in the world, especially in places such as Canada, US, UK, work for about 8 hours a day on the book. Okay? So that was 8. Now here we go and be ready for these kinds of questions where you have to do a little bit of math for the answer. Now here we go with question 9. With question 9, I did something a little bit different during the review time. Does anybody remember what I did for question 9 during the review time? Okay, and this is just one question. So you have to get all 3 of these correct. Usually when you have to get 3 correct answers for one question, it's a little bit easier. It's logical. Okay. And with this question, I did something a little bit different during the review time. Okay, what did I do? This is a very important tip. Okay, and it will absolutely help your band score paying attention to this really important tip. Okay, a big one. All right. Simply put, I spent more time on it. Okay, so whenever you see a question in the listening that requires multiple selections from a list of choices, you must spend more time looking at it and reading the choices. Okay, it's very important. It's very difficult to get these ones correct if you only take a quick look at the question. All right? So spend more time on it on average than on the other questions. So which 3 of these, what were the correct answers? Pranav says it's A, D, E. Chantal says it's D, E, F. Vanessa says it's D, E, F. Nyamatula says it's A, D, F. Ferdav says it's A, E, D. E and D seem to be very popular, so we can probably guess that D and E are correct answers. So yes, D and E are correct. Which one's the missing one? Drum roll, please. Brrr. It is A. Okay, so exchange for an item for a new one. Of course, in most places around the world, when you buy an item that doesn't function, you can just exchange it for one that does. Companies like your money, and if they give you a broken product, they don't want to lose your money, so they'll want to sell you the same product or just exchange it for a new one. Okay? So definitely A is a smart, logical choice. Okay? D, again, cash back. That's very common. Okay? And E is the interesting one, but with E, the speaker emphasizes this. So the speaker talks about this, and even the customer talks about this. The customer says, wow, 110%? Really? Okay? So it's in there. Now, if you're having trouble with it, okay, so if you're having trouble with these, what should you do? If you're having trouble getting these answers correct, and you have to get all three of them to get this mark. If you got A wrong, you get the whole mark wrong, okay, because it's just one question. So what should you do if you're having difficulty with these multi-choice types of questions? Pranav, thanks for the feedback. Absolutely. Check out our website too, Pranav. Ferdov says use logic. Yep, logic is definitely your friend. Okay. And at home, when you're preparing for the exam, you should use the transcripts in the back. Okay. So if you have trouble with these types of questions, use the transcripts in the back of your practice books to become familiar with how the answers are derived. Okay? In our exam books, you'll find these transcripts in the back of the book. For this exam, the transcripts are found on page 134. Okay? And I'll just quickly show you where these answers came from for those of you who were confused. Okay? So here you have the transcripts. It's basically the script. Okay? So William is the customer. Janet is the customer service agent. All right? And in the transcripts, we actually show you where the answer comes from. So you see here for questions 2 and 3 in bold, it says the first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product. Okay? So we look for question number 9, which of course will be near the end of this listening section 1. Okay? And here we go. So in bold, Janet says, we would have given you your choice of a new monitor. So she doesn't say exchange the product, but it's in there. It's paraphrased. Your choice of a new monitor, your cash back, or store credit in the amount of 110% of the original cost of the item. So right away you realize, okay, they clearly told me this one, the cash back. They clearly told me this one. This one's kind of weird. So William, in fact, repeats it. 110% store credit. Wow. And then here, Janet explains it. Well, our company wants customers to be satisfied. The one that was also a bit tricky is this, your choice of a new monitor. Okay? That's descriptive paraphrasing for exchanging the product. Amarjeet, the transcripts are not available on the app, but don't forget that when you buy the app, you also have access to the website. So if you can't see the transcripts on the app, you can log into the website and get it there. Okay, Amarjeet? So the app and the website link together. You only purchase our course on one or the other. Okay? All right. And transcripts are always in the back of the book, students, before the answer keys. All right, let's go back and look at that last question, question number 10. Here we go. So this was again multiple choice. This was a fairly straightforward, simple answer. The woman mentions an item that costs 20 pounds. What is this item? Okay. Yeah, Amarjeet, so if you have it, you can access the transcripts. You can download the PDF. Okay. So is it the computer monitor? That would be a very cheap computer monitor for 20 pounds. The extended warranty or the manufacturer's warranty? And the correct answer is, Pranav Patel says B. Dobbs agrees, and that's correct. Okay, it's B. Computer monitor doesn't make sense. What? $20? That would have to be a very, very old used monitor. In fact, even that would cost more because that would probably be an antique or a collector's item these days. You just can't buy computer monitors for 20 pounds. It doesn't exist. How much does a manufacturer's warranty cost? How much money does a manufacturer's warranty cost? Kyber says manufacturer's warranty is free. Yeah, most electronic items that are new from stores, they're free. Ferdov says 0. Yeah. Zainab agrees, it's free. So again, what do we get from this? Use logic, okay? So use logic. Use your brain throughout the IELTS. Do not sit through IELTS like a robot, okay? You're a human being. Your brain is a thinking machine. It doesn't just pick up sound and put it onto paper. It picks up sound, does a lot of processing in there, and then you write on paper, okay? Don't leave out the processing part. You can lose a lot of marks, all right? IELTS is a thinking exam, not just an English exam. I can't stress that enough. That's why there's 2 versions of it, okay? It's very important. All right, students, how did you do in this part? So how did you do in part 1? What was your score from 10? Give me some feedback. And be honest. If you're not honest, you're only tricking yourself, remember. All right, how did you do? Kyber says 10 out of 10. In all fairness, Kyber, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this listening. Eduardo says 6. Amal Sultanov says 9. Chantal says 5. Ferdov says 7. All right, students, very important tip. Your goal for listening section 1 should be 8 and no less, okay? 8, 9, or 10, all right? This is another very important tip. If you're not getting a score of 8 or higher, practice, 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 all right? Your goal for listening section 1 should be should be 8 from 10 or higher, because the next sections will be more difficult and you will likely lose more marks. Okay? So your goal should be 8 or higher. If you're not getting that score, practice more. Okay? So practice more. All right, students, here we go. Let's do section 2 listening together. Now you have some good ideas, some good strategies. I'm going to play the audio again. Do not write your answers into the chat. Give everybody a fair chance, okay? The material, again, is coming from our website, so I will hop over to aehelp.com. You do have all of this audio in the app as well, and even the questions. You can actually do this exam in the app through an interactive platform. So here we go, students. Listen and answer.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening Section 2. You will hear a recording of a radio news magazine discussing the importance of doing good in the community. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, I'm Emma Robertson, and I'd like to welcome our listeners to Beyond the Lens, the programme that aims to dig deeper on issues in culture and society. Today we have Professor Hudson McMahon from the University of Bristol's Department of Social Policy. Hello, Professor McMahon. Do you want to tell us a little about what you'll be presenting today?
Of course, Emma. But first, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. My wife and I are both avid listeners of Beyond the Lens, and it's a bit of a thrill to be on the show. But I digress. Today, I want to talk about the importance of doing good in the community and in society. There are many ways of doing this, but the two most common ways are volunteering and giving to charity. However, these methods of improving community and society have an important difference. While volunteering one's time is almost always a positive for society, giving to charity is significantly more problematic.
Problematic, Professor McMahon? It would seem to me that giving to charity is always a positive for society. We celebrate those among us who are the greatest donors to charity.
Yes, and in general, it is warranted. I do want to clarify. In general, giving to charity is good, but one must be very careful for two reasons. First, some charities do not do sufficient amounts of charitable good per pound. And second, some charities receive too much money that could be spent better on other causes. Let me discuss each of these in turn.
This seems to me a rather radical thesis.
It seems that way, but I hope to convince you otherwise by the end of the program. Now, getting back to charities. Some charities simply do not give a lot of their received monies to the actual performance of good acts. For instance, some charities utilize less than 10% of their donations on actual charitable activities. The rest goes to salaries, promotion, and other overhead costs. So for a donation of £100, it may be the case that less than £10 actually goes to helping someone.
That sounds terrible, but it still helps people, right?
Well, yes, but as charitable givers, we should try and reward those charities who do most good with the least amount of money. By that, I mean that those thinking of donating to charity should do research on a charity before giving to the cause. There are other charities where more than 50% of donations go to the end cause. These charities are much more deserving of your patronage.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
Another reason to be discerning when it comes to your choice of charities is what I call the relative utility of a charitable donation.
Let me take a guess here, Professor McMahon. Is the relative utility of a donation how much good it does relative to other donations?
That's just about it, Emma. The relative utility of a donation is how much good a donation does per amount spent. For instance, the disease MND, motor neuron disease, was in the news in recent years, and MND charities received a windfall of donations. This sounds all well and good, but there is a problem. Unlike, say, heart disease, MND does not affect very many people. While it would be wonderful to cure the disease, there are better allocations of our limited charity funds.
Wait, so you're saying it was bad for people to give to MND charities?
Not quite, only that it was suboptimal. Because there is a limited supply of money given to charity each year, it is important that it is used at least somewhat optimally. And allocating overwhelming amounts of money to a disease that affects very low percentage of people is extremely suboptimal.
That's very interesting, Professor McMahon. So how can our listeners try and optimize their charitable gifts?
First of all, don't be caught up in viral social media campaigns. Instead, use such moments to remind yourself of the importance of giving to charity in general, and not just to niche causes with good promotion. And second, do your research. Before you donate, look up how much of a charity's donation go to the actual end goal. Additionally, look up how many people are affected by the charity's end cause. The more people there are affected, and the worse they are affected, the more likely you should be to donate to that cause. It is all about maximizing good in the world.
That certainly sounds like a noble goal, but if everyone donates...
All right, students, so that is a part 2 listening, clearly more challenging than part 1. It's quite a big leap oftentimes in the difficulty of part 2 compared to part 1. So be ready for that, okay? Sometimes students are quite surprised, so they're finding section 1 fairly easy, and then suddenly it's section 2 and it's way more difficult, okay? Be ready for that surprise, okay? That can absolutely happen. All right. Students, what is the name of the radio show? Let's go through these answers nice and smooth together. So what is the name of the radio show? It's also probably a bit tough, Monica, because it was a British speaker talking with a speaker from New Zealand. Okay. Yeah, so the name of the show is Beyond the Lens. The radio host says it. She says, "Welcome to Beyond the Lens." And the man says it as well. He says, "I'm happy to be on this show. Beyond the Lens is one of our favorites, my wife and I think," something like that. The B has to be big. The L has to be big. It's the name of a show to get it correct, okay? The T does not. The B and the L must be capital letters. If you use small letters, you'll get it wrong for either one. Okay, if you use a big B but a small L, it's still wrong. All right? So Beyond the Lens, big B, big L has to be. Okay, the name of the show. All right, here we go with Anurag. You could write all capitals for this one, absolutely. So here you had to match the letter with the correct statement. Applies to volunteering, applies to charitable giving, applies to neither. Affects fewer people, but may be highly inefficient. Give me the answers, students. Number 12. What was it? The correct answer affects few people, so not many people, and is highly inefficient. Neither. Okay? Neither of those. Okay, doesn't logically make sense. Number 13, can be problematic for various reasons. They talk a lot about this, so this one should be easy. Number 13. And Kyber says number 13 is B, applies to charitable giving. That is correct, and I think many of you got that one by the look of it. Fantastic. Good job, Lean. Good job for Dobbs, Monica, Amal. Number 14 is almost always a positive action for society. Which one was it? Volunteering means giving your time, or charitable giving means giving your money. Yeah, this one's A. Of course, you're giving your time. You're helping elderly people, or you're playing your guitar for orphans at the hospital. That's pretty much always going to be a positive, okay? Volunteering is one of the most beautiful deeds a human being can do, and Canadians love volunteering, so I'm all about that. Number 15, subject to many overhead costs, so it has a lot of cost, okay? Administrative, advertising. Yeah, it's B. It's charitable giving, right? Giving your time, volunteering, doesn't cost much. Again, logic here, students. Logic can help you a lot. All right, number 16. We had to choose, again, 2 answers. And if you're with me from the beginning of class, you'll remember that I actually spent more time on this. So what are 2 reasons that charities can be inefficient? And here again, you have to choose 2 correct letters to get number 16 right. Okay? A was one of them. Yeah? They have to pay the salaries of employees. So he talks about that you have to pay all the employees. And when you have a lot of employees, not a lot of money goes to the actual charity in the end. It's a lot of administrative fees. And the other one was the promotion, the advertising. Okay? So a lot of money is spent on salaries and on advertising for charities. That's why they're not as efficient. So A and C were the correct answers. A and C. Okay? All right, students, 17, 18, and 19. This was a flow chart. This side's very clear. Charity, heart disease, affects many people, good use of money. So we can assume that this is going to be the opposite. What disease did the man give here? What's the correct answer? F, that's right, MND. Okay, make sure in your answer sheet you put the letter F. So F, motor neural disease, I believe is what it was, motor neural disease, F. Affects, if this affects many people, then number 18 has to be A, of course, right? Affects many people, affects few people. Yeah, Monica, very good. Kyber, Hermes, very good. Last one, good use of funds. We're spending money wisely to give charity for solving problems with heart disease. Number 19 is going to be the opposite. It is an inefficient use of funds. Yeah, because another way to say good use is efficient use of funds, right? Okay, so students, here we go with the last question, number 20. According to the guest, what is the main goal of charitable giving? So what is our primary objective when we're giving money to these charities? What should we think about? Maximizing good. Absolutely. That is what the speaker finishes on. He says it's all about maximizing the good in society. Okay? So C is the correct answer. All right, students, add up your scores. Hang on to them until tomorrow. Tomorrow, at the same time, we will do listening section 3 and 4 from this exam together, and then we'll check our band scores. That's all the time that I have for today. Again, you can get the full premium package with all of these exams, over 100 hours of video lessons, as well as interactive courses from our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for the general. You can also download our app, Academic IELTS Help, that integrates with our academic website. Okay, that's it for now. Hope to see you tomorrow for the second half of this lesson, listening section 3 and listening section 4. Have a great rest of your evening, or have a good start to your day. And if it's late in your country, sweet dreams. And I hope you wake up tomorrow rested and full of energy, ready to tackle another day. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.